Hey guys, so today we have a few stories and even a clarification of sorts that I'm going to put at the start of the video because I don't want anyone to be like, oh, you haven't addressed this. I will address it because a lot has happened on twitter.com in the Angelika world, so that's fun. Anyway, Instagram, Twitter, follow me on there. It's, I guess, sometimes a fun time unless you put out a tweet that makes rounds and then it's not that fun anymore. And subscribe because we're on our way to 500k. I think we're about 11,000 away, so that's really cool. Thank you guys for that. So what do we have today? Oh right, so I posted a video, it's my last video, where I spoke about Gabby Hanna finally addressing the situation that I'm not going to talk about because there is no reason to, and I was very proud. I said that, I'm gonna paraphrase what I said basically, is I thought that was one of the best apologies I've heard in a really long time, and I basically said that if she had addressed everything so far in the way that she addressed this, I would have had no problem with Gabby Hanna whatsoever. And I thought the apology was great. I thought it was sincere, genuine. I thought it sounded like she really knew she made a mistake and just wanted to apologize for making a mistake. The only reason I was angry at what she did wasn't because she made a mistake, because human beings make mistakes. It's what we do as people, we make mistakes. It was the fact that she didn't address it for so long that it almost stopped being a mistake and it just started being another thing that Gabby Hanna does. It was just another Gabby Hanna situation. So I'm glad that she addressed it in the way that she did. And I'm glad that the family of the girl was fine with it. That they kind of, you know, they didn't see a problem in it. And I said, that's perfect. You know, everything's fine, everything's fallen into place, everyone's happy now, as happy as they can be in this situation. And then I was about to upload the video, so I was looking for a thumbnail, as you do, so I had to go back to Gabby Hanna's video, and I did it because I have these, like an extension on your browser that helps you see tags that people put on their videos, just so you can see what's trending right now. And I saw these tags, so I felt very icky. I still believed that her apology was genuine and sincere, and I still stuck by everything I said about that video. That apology stays the way I said it is, sincere and genuine. But I can't lie to you and say that those tags didn't make me feel icky, because they did. I think when you make an apology, you shouldn't have to care if it reaches the drama channels or anyone else. The apology should reach the person you're apologizing to, and that's all you should care about. And Gabby Hanna claimed that the only people that she cared about with this apology were the people affected by that, which is the family and friends. So I'm not really sure why then she said that she needed the drama channels to see this as well, because they didn't. And if you cared so much about this reaching the drama channels and that is why you put the tags, I don't understand why you couldn't take the extra 10 seconds to make sure that you at least spelt the names correctly, because then that defeats the whole purpose. But then she used the excuse of, well, it just goes to show how much I hate drama channels. And it's like, well, then don't tag us. The apology still stands. I still think it was a very genuine and sincere and great apology, to be fair. It explained everything it needed to explain. There was no excuses, and that was fine. But the tags did make me feel icky, and that's what I tweeted out about. I said I was nice and I kind of regret being nice now. Should I have wanted it that way? Probably not. But it did make me angry in that moment, and that tweet still stands. I still believe in that tweet, so I'm not going to delete it. I did mute it because I just can't be asked to argue with people, which I never do because I don't see the point. But yeah, that was me addressing the situation, and I will never address this situation again unless, I don't know, I just don't want to address this situation again. That is that on that. So I'm hoping that this channel will now not have to mention Gabby Hanna in a thumbnail or title for the next year. Please give me a year. That's it. I'm glad that Gabby Hanna addressed this situation, but let's not forget that there are many other situations that she still hasn't addressed, and they need addressing just as much as this one. So that's where I stand on this situation, and I will refuse to speak on it again. Yeah, I also just wanted to say that I used to use vitamin C on my face. I don't know why I'm just telling you guys this randomly, but I thought you guys should know. And then I started using very like professional, like high-end vitamin C, because I thought that it was gonna do great things for my skin, and I'm sure it will. Like, I'm not doubting that. But I used to read a lot of like articles or tweets or posts about how vitamin C serums, if they're like very potent, they will smell like meat. And I thought, you're lying to me. There is no way that vitamin C is going to smell like meat. Absolutely no way. And then I bought it and I used it, and my face smells like salami, which would have been okay if it wasn't for the fact that I've been vegetarian for over a year and I haven't handled meat for over a year. I don't even touch it. And this just brings me right back to when I used to make myself like salami paninis, and you had to pick up the salami and then the grease would stay on your fingers, and the smell lingers, let me just say, because I now dilute it with face cream, and that didn't work. And I have makeup on top of it, and I've had this makeup on for about an hour and a half now, and I can still smell it. So I'm gonna try my absolute best to stick with it, because skincare is important, but it makes me gag when I think about it, so I'm not gonna think about it. Anyway, right, so I don't have Snapchat anymore, as I've mentioned on multiple occasions, and I recently received a screenshot of the subscriptions page on Snapchat. Has different like magazines. They have like Cosmo and 17 and BuzzFeed and all the different like newspapers, right? And 17 has the cover for their article on Snapchat was "Watch teens have their first kiss on camera." And I don't know if it's just me, but I just feel so strange about this. Why would I get that, you know, I'm assuming majority of people using Snapchat are younger people, probably teenagers, but there are adults on there as well. And it's also just so strange. Who in their right mind is like, I just want to see some teenagers have their first kiss. That's all I want to see. That's it. And I'm assuming it's like more clickbaity than anything, I hope. But it's just a really weird way to clickbait people in. And I'm just wondering just the statistics on who clicked on that article, like the age range of who clicked on that article, just out of curiosity. So yeah. Next, a little bit of sad news. Caroline Flack, who was the host of ITV's Love Island and many other things, has sadly passed away on Valentine's Day. And that is after she had a trial set for March regarding assault on her boyfriend, which hasn't been confirmed or denied. And actually, she pleaded not guilty, and her boyfriend is dropping, well, there were no charges to begin with, but he said that she wasn't guilty in any way, shape or form. So I actually don't know where the rumor started from, but that's the story, and everyone started talking about it from different newspapers like The Sun, The Guardian, etc. They all started making articles about it. Some less nice than others. A lot were accusing her of something that she wasn't yet on trial for yet. So it was a very difficult situation to look at, but no one really expected for her to do what she did, and that's kind of the overarching story. Obviously, it's not something you want to talk about or something you want to happen to someone, regardless of what they did or didn't do. But then there is a deeper layer of things that are happening on the internet now because of this. There is a YouTuber, like a very small channel. I think he's on about 30,000 subscribers, which isn't not a lot, but it's also, do you know what I mean? He's not like on the 1,000 subs. Like 30,000 people decided to subscribe to this channel for one reason or another. And he made a Calling Caroline Flack at 3 a.m, which, if you don't know, is something that J Station has been doing for a while. He exploits people's deaths and he thinks it's cool, and everyone calls him out on it, but he just continues to do it because regardless of what we say, he still gets views for it. And here's the same thing where smaller channels have now started doing it, and it just blows my mind that you'd think a day after someone passes away, you need to exploit their death. It just... So that was one of the things. But then, you know, he seems like a very young boy. He seems about like 12 to me. I don't know if he's just doing this because he thinks it's like cool and funny, and I'm hoping that he'll at one point grow out of it before he makes a mistake that he can't then turn back, because once you put something on the internet, it stays on the internet. So I'm hoping that one, he grows out of it, but then that once he does grow out of it, he doesn't realize that this has now affected the rest of his life. I don't know. It's a deeper issue there. But two, Daily Mail, which like everyone was having a go at The Sun, because The Sun is one of the worst newspapers in the UK by far, if it's not the worst. But that is my opinion, allegedly. Don't come for me. But Daily Mail was always like, okay. And Daily Mail has now released an article. Caroline Flack's ex-fiance, Andrew Brady, looks downcast as he reads his phone in Australia hours after the star took her own life in London. I am going to blur those pictures out because I can't criticize someone for putting those pictures out there and then also put those pictures out there myself. And I don't think he deserves for his sadness to be on the internet like that. So I just wanted to show you guys what people said, what Daily Mail said about this. And this is an article by Lara Kay for Mail Online. Lara, what made you think this was okay? So there is a picture of him, and underneath it says, Caroline Flack's ex-fiance Andrew Brady was seen near the beach in Sydney, Australia, hours after she killed herself in her London home. And then there's another picture of him looking down, and then the thing underneath says, he then dropped his head. And I think this is some of the most disgusting journalism I have ever seen. You know, people have a go at, not to bring it back to me, but people have a go at drama channels and commentary channels and YouTubers in general for being unprofessional and for, you know, not doing enough research or something, when we're usually most likely a one-man team. And then there's Daily Mail, a multi-million, if not billion-dollar company, pound company, because they're British, putting like this out there. And you think, who approved this? Like, yeah, I get one person wrote it, and I'm assuming someone higher up told them to do it. But then it passed through all these editors and all these people that work in this company, and no one at any point thought, maybe we shouldn't put this out there. Maybe this is an invasion of privacy. Maybe this is just disgusting. No one, not a single person thought this was bad. And that blows my mind. It blows my mind that no one thought this was like wrong to do to someone. No one at no point thought this was not okay. No, great. Okay, well, Daily Mail cancelled, I guess. So there is a YouTuber called Natalia Taylor. There we go. Why did that take me so long? There is a YouTuber called Natalia Taylor who has an Instagram, as most YouTubers do, and on that Instagram she posted a few things that people thought were undisclosed ads. Now let me reiterate before someone comments something idiotic. This is against the law. Like, we're not talking about just what's right and wrong morally, ethically, what's right and wrong. No, we're talking about the law, the new laws that have come in for advertising to an American audience. So the FTC, I believe, came in and said, these are the new laws and regulations regulations regarding advertising to an American audience. If you break those, you are likely going to be fined. And Natalia Taylor has posted a few ads, I'm going to put them on the screen, where it seems like they are ads because it's just product placement, which most people wouldn't do for free. And even if she only received the products, that's still an ad. If you receive a product and advertise it, that is your payment. The payment was the product that you received. It doesn't always have to be money either. So yeah. And if you didn't have to post it, but let's say you got something in PR, so like a brand gave you a product without explicitly saying that you have to put it on the internet, and you put it on the internet, you have to say that it was given to you by the brand. You can't try to pass it off as you buying the product. So yeah, some people are saying these are undisclosed ads. Like always, I'm saying this is allegedly. I've mentioned this a few times in a few videos where people haven't been disclosing ads, allegedly, that this is alleged. But it definitely looks like an undisclosed ad, and we know that that's against the law now. So please let your faves know that this is not how things run anymore. You have to disclose ads, please. Just hashtag ad is all we need on there. That's really it. Jake Paul has been known for bashing school, as you do. He made a song about his teachers not teaching him how to buy a Lamborghini, when like 99% of people in this world will never get to buy a Lamborghini, and that is just a fact. And a school isn't supposed to teach you how to buy a Lamborghini. It's supposed to teach you just life skills, like, you know, basic maths and English, a bit of science, maybe a little bit of geography if they're feeling crazy, some history. They're not going to teach you how to buy a Lamborghini. Now, do I think schools teach you everything you need to know? No. I think schools need more real life lessons where they teach you about taxes and mortgages and finance and stocks and interest rates and credit cards and credit scores, and they just don't. They don't do that unless you do finance, which not everyone does finance. And then they get out of school and they go to buy a house and they don't know what the they're doing. And yeah, so I think schools definitely have a few things missing. More like open conversations about sex education as well, because most schools don't do it. And when they do, it is so like missing. There is so much missing in that conversation, and it's so based on like the typical stereotypical couple, you know, man and female, they want to get married and have kids, and we need more. I'm glad I'm not at school anymore. That is a mess sometimes. So yeah, going back, he did bash school for absolutely no reason, when, you know, it's no one's fault. Teachers get given a curriculum and they just have to stick with it. So he has now created a subscription service for, I believe, $20, where he will teach you how to basically become a millionaire and say you to school. And he's basically just saying, make a YouTube channel, school and make a YouTube channel, which like that works for some people. It worked for me, I guess. But I did finish my like basic education, you know, so like at this point I'm an adult. If you're talking to like your 12-year-old fans and you're telling them to stop going to school and just become a YouTuber, that's not how that works. Please let them finish their basic education until they're like 18, and then they can become a YouTuber. But also, becoming a YouTuber is such a luck-based thing. You don't just, it's not like in a regular working environment where usually hard work pays off. Not always, because there's a lot of problems and issues in the way that the work system works, but that's a whole other conversation. But usually if you try really hard, you'll get good grades, and if you try really hard, you can, you know, apply for jobs and hopefully get them. There is a higher chance of you getting further in life with a degree than on YouTube, unless YouTube blows up for you and you're one of the lucky ones. Then yeah, go for it. But I just would never tell people to stop going to school for the possibility of them having a YouTube channel. If they already have a successful YouTube channel, sure, you cannot go to uni or you cannot get a job, fine. But to blow off a uni opportunity for the possibility of having a YouTube channel is insane to me. And the fact that he's promoting this to his young audience is insane. And the fact that he's also charging for it, yeah. If you guys don't know, I watched a Drew Gooden video where he spoke about this like Team 1000 thing that Jake Paul had back in the day, where he would make you pay money to get into this system of teaching you how to be a YouTuber, and then you'd have to pay more money, and then you'd have to pay more money to get more access. So like, but none of this would be clear from the start, so you'd pay for something and think you had access to everything, and then it would be like, well, now if you want access to more things, you have to pay a little bit more money, and then a little bit more money. And then the people that paid didn't really receive much. It was pretty much just like really versions of YouTube videos, like 2-minute long clips just teaching you about YouTube, which I bet someone else could do it better than Jake Paul. And then people also paid more money for this page to now be down. Like, this whole website is down, it doesn't exist anymore. So I'm not sure how refunds went. There's also this whole thing of once you put your credit card in for the child could then pay for more of those systems without having to put the security number in again. So it just promoted kids basically taking money from their parents without their permission, and it was just a whole mess. And this is another mess. This is why I'm not a fan of Jake Paul. Logan Paul has redeemed himself in my eyes. Jake Paul though, trash. More trash with every day. Yeah, that's that. The Ace family also has a game type thing where they have a lot of like weird ways of getting money from kids, and the Ace family is known for making money in weird ways. Like, for example, when they had the basketball match where they said they would donate 100,000 of the proceeds to a charity, and then we saw the check and it said 75,000, when in reality they probably made around 300,000 to 400,000 from that event alone, like in profit. So the fact that they tried to skimp out on 25,000 when they're already multi-millionaires blows my mind. And now they have this game where people can like pay money, and obviously kids are gonna be like, mom, give me your credit card, and then I bet they're just gonna keep on buying stupid things from them. Oh, it just annoys me. That family is so annoying. Not the whole family, the kids are great, and Catherine seems like a sweetheart, but Austin. Next, Thomas Halbert has recently been under fire on Twitter because he didn't pay his merch artwork person. There was a girl called Luca who made his designs for merch and for Twitch, like the emoji type things, and apparently he didn't pay for like a year. I'm not gonna read everything because you can find that thread yourself and we'd be here all day, but someone tagged me in it originally. So the first tweet is, it's really sad that I've had to resort to bringing this to Twitter, but I need to warn other artists and show that not paying us is not acceptable. 11 months ago, Thomas Halbert commissioned me asking to sell it as merch and still hasn't paid me royalties. Thread below, and they do it. Luca does insert like screenshots and stuff, but there was just so much there that I'd prefer you guys to go over to the thread yourselves and just go through all the pictures than me show it to you for the next 20 minutes. But I'm going to quickly just go over the general tweets. So he commissioned me for 2 icons for Twitch and Discord, and in March 2019 he asked to use them on merch. At this point I'd made emotes for him, etc, so we had been working together for a little while and everything seemed really great so far. I never worked with merch royalties, so I had no idea what to charge. At this point Thomas and I were speaking almost every day. I was in a mod in his Twitch stream. We were very buddy and I wanted to do whatever was easiest for him. Also, he's a YouTuber for context. I was also working on other art for him during this time, so I had done several projects for him. He would DM me for updates very frequently and I would always reply within 24 hours. But when it came to paying me, he would ignore me or take a couple of days to get back to me. I even would do rush work for him. For example, making 4 emotes for him within a couple of days, even though I had other work to finish. He had been late with some of his payments, sometimes taking over a week or 2 to pay full for work I'd do for him. He also hadn't communicated about his merch sales at all. So timeline, merch sold in March, April, asked for numbers in April and May, still no communication. I was used to him talking to me almost every day, but once it came to paying me a bigger amount, he basically ghosted me. I DM him again in October and still no response. Finally in December I DM him and he replies back, but his answers are short and everything is just weird. At this point I was just fed up. He said he was going through a rough time of personal stuff, etc, and he told me he was getting a lot of money through sponsors, so money shouldn't be the issue, right? Then he says the numbers for the merch sales were wrong, so at this point I knew he was never going to pay me. So I'm done. I haven't gotten a single message from him in a month. In hindsight, I was stupid for trusting a friend to pay me for doing work for them in advance without being paid first. My point in making this post, to not only warn people from working with this man, but to tell all creators to get paid before you give your client their product. I've learnt my lesson, will never let myself get scammed again. Avoid @ThomasBeauty from any art commissions. I don't want anyone attacking or calling people names, but I know people are going to do it anyway on either side. I tried to settle this in DMs, but I waited almost an entire year. This isn't about the money, it's about how artists are treated. So that's the story. And then Thomas Halbert started tweeting out a lot, and I don't know where I stand on this situation because there are just so many contradictions in simply just what he said. I follow Thomas Halbert on Twitter and he follows me, and I don't know if that's going to change after this, but I'm here to report on the news, not make friends. So some of the tweets have now been deleted, so I don't know where the storyline goes now, but Thomas tweets out after everything saying, for the sheer inconvenience, I am paying Luca $250 right now. I'm so sorry to disappoint everyone yet again. I know it seems like that, but as Luca knows, I've been waiting to get paid by Colourpop to pay her. I wasn't responsive to her this week because it would have just been the same answer. You can believe me or not, but I was going to pay her this week when I finally got paid by Colourpop. Here's the thing. Even if the answer was going to be the same, like you would have just told her the same thing you told her the week before, which is I don't have the money yet, I will have it soon. I would rather receive that message than receive nothing and have just silence, because I'd rather someone message me every week saying, hey, I still don't have the money, I'm still waiting on it, and I still remember that this is a thing we're trying to sort out, rather than ignore me for a month and then me just hope that they remember to pay me. So I'd rather be in the loop, even if it's just the same thing over and over again. I'm not saying message her every second of every day, but I mean just like once a week would be nice to just say, hey, I still don't have the money. But I think for Thomas Halbert to be an adult and get a service from someone that he knows he has no savings for, someone shouldn't have to wait for you to get paid so that they can get paid. They should just be paid regardless. So the way I see things is there's your needs and then there's your wants when it comes to your finances. Your needs are like, you know, if you've moved out, rent, bills, and then any services that you need to pay for. So, you know, if you paid your bills and everything, but then you know that you're gonna have to get art for your merch, you should have that money put aside the moment you contact that person. You should ask, what are your rates? And once you agree on this service together, that money should be put aside and never touched. Like that should be put aside. If you're really bad with money, have a savings account or like another account where if you know you have things to pay that you can't pay for now but you have to pay for later, put it there and don't touch it. That should be for that person. They shouldn't have to wait for you to get paid so they can get paid. But also pay ahead of time. If you know that you're bad with money and you're going to spend it, pay them ahead of time. If you already discussed what design you want and you know that they're the person you want to do it with, pay them ahead of time. And this wouldn't be a problem. And then he says, I was like, damn, I haven't been in a scandal in a minute. Then he did a Periscope answering all the questions. And then he showed that he paid $250, which, like, you said you didn't have money and now you just paid $250. And then he says, okay, let me not be dramatic and deactivate my Twitter, which is a little bit of victim mentality because this isn't their fault that they had to go to Twitter to get paid. I know people misinformed and continuously spreading misinformation about me today. Regardless, I hope everyone knows that my intentions with Luca was not to screw her over. I even went as far to pay her more than what she initially asked me for last year. As far as royalties goes, this was my first time ever doing royalties with anyone and definitely a lesson on my part. I was never going to not pay her. I went as far as paying her double for everything she gave me, including tips. I made a big mistake not planning the royalties properly with her, and for that I apologize for being a dipshit with my business. I initially wanted to do a flat rate with Luca, but stupidly went ahead with royalties even with both of us not having experience with doing royalties. I had told her that doing a flat rate would have been easier for me. As far as the royalty amount, Luca was fully aware of how many designs she sold. I even sent her a Teespring screenshot. She continued to add up everything, including the Am I Okay hoodies, which are not her designs, and proceeded to ask for 150. She did not make 150. Well, then you should have corrected her straight away and not now. If she added up the wrong amount, wouldn't you just message her back saying that's not the right amount a year ago? I don't know. Also, she had initially told me she would hit me up a month later to talk about royalties. She hit me up about the royalties in December. At that point, I tried my best to juggle everything I had to pay her. We still hadn't even figured out the amount, but yeah, regardless, I paid her. I paid her the $550 she made, but added $245 on top of that for the sheer stress and inconvenience. By the end of the day, I always paid her on time previously and even more than what she asked. She was the first ever artist I commissioned ever. As much as I like Thomas Halbert's tweets, I think he's funny. You know, his tweets are cute. But sometimes a lot of the time, he will tweet about brands being late with payments and then does the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or $500. Realistically, the amount doesn't matter. It's the sheer principle of paying people on time if you want to be paid on time, and that is the tea. I then saw this screenshot, which I can't find on his Twitter anymore, which is weird, and if this is real or fake, I don't know. And he said, also don't take slander lightly and lawyers will be getting involved. Which, if this is a real tweet, first of all, I thought you had no money. So if you didn't have money to pay her $5, then I don't know how you're going to pay for lawyers. But two, this could be fake. This could be a fake tweet. But if it isn't, then who is he suing? Who's this against? And why are so many tweets being deleted regarding the situation? I feel like there would be so much more clarity if there was just a set number of tweets and that's it. Anyway, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, comment down below anything, comment down below, and subscribe because I post videos every time something happens. So hit that bell and you'll be notified. From my socials, the description down below, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.